This year's team I'm really excited about so far. In the first 4 practices, the first week of the season, it's a team that overall is more athletic and deeper than any team that I've had in my past 3 years. I really think the work ethic and the senior leadership that we have with the 12 seniors that we have is certainly one that should help us get over the hump. Our midfielders are extremely deep. We brought in some size. I think when I first took over the program, we were on the smaller end of things with between our attack, midfield, and defense, and we finally got some size and the athleticism that we need. We also have a lot of competition at every position, which is pushing our guys day in and day out in practice. And I think throughout the season, if we can work on the small things and get better every day and have the competition in practice, we'll have some good results near the end. Well, I think that's going to be the key for us is starting the game right away. I think last year at times, you never want to look back because every season's a little bit different, but I think last year at times we didn't sprint out of the gates, and we might have been in the hole a little bit and down at halftime, and then we were fighting the rest of the game and we come up a little bit short. This year we're certainly going to concentrate on coming out of the gates the right way and doing the right things early on. And I mentioned before that our athleticism is certainly going to help, and the depth is going to help us in that aspect as well. I think we got some very good young face-off guys that are going to be a big impact this year. Our attack that I'll get into in a minute, certainly a couple of young guys right now. It looks to be 2 sophomores and a freshman on the starting end of the field. Both attackmen from last year that played quite a bit, Kevin Kilpatrick and Colin McHugh, on the smaller end, but both very quick, capable attackmen that could shoot the ball and feed. Inside, we have a newcomer, freshman, Tristan Miller, that's also very capable of scoring a lot of goals, has good sticks, is a big force inside, can also dodge. He's going to add a lot of different aspects to our offense this year, and he's going to be one that's exciting to watch. Well, Sean Murphy is not your typical face-off guy. He is just one heck of a competitor and a fighter. He's scrappy day in and day out. He hates to lose, and that's what makes him a great face-off guy. He may lose the face-off, but he battles every single ground ball and comes up with it a lot of the times. This year, a sophomore, Andrew Setian, who came on a little bit late for us last year, was just getting used to the college level and is really playing well right now. And those two are having a great battle in practice, and they both have different techniques, but they're both very capable of winning a lot of draws for us. Well, I think the depth at the midfield, we have a lot of new guys. We got some mixed in with some great veterans. Some of our freshmen last year got to see some playing time, so they're now sophomores. I think it's a great mix. It's the first time that I feel 10, 11 guys at the midfield are going to compete for 6 to 8 spots to get playing time this year. One of our big improvements this year is going to be our transition game. Something I felt in the last 2 years hasn't been up to par. So I think with the depth and the athleticism, we're going to be able to push a lot more transition and create a little bit more up-tempo. By no means are we going to be a run and gun team and look to score 20, 30 goals or get 20 goals, 30 goals scored on us. But I think this year you're going to see a lot more up-tempo where we are pushing transition goals, where we're also hopefully disciplined enough to pull it out when we don't have those unsettled situations and then bring in our offense. At the defensive end of the field, we got a pretty neat mix of seniors and freshmen and sophomores. 2 sophomores started for us last year, Freddie Schweitzer and Yazin Arabia, both of them very athletic, capable of pushing the ball upfield. One-on-one defense, those guys are very tough to get by. We also got a freshman, Jimmy King from Governor's Academy, that does a nice job inside and controls our defense. Really is very vocal for a freshman and a leader. You don't see that too often. Those are a couple of the younger guys mixed in with Andrew Sullivan, who's a captain for us, senior, just an incredible overall defenseman. Brian Williamson is another one that has spent a lot of time on the field and is going to see some time this year. Our long poles, Ian Lowe, very, very good inside and communicates very well, along with Andrew Capone, who's a senior long pole midi too, who's more of our bruiser in between the lines. The quarterback of our team, there's no question about it, Chris Marcozzi, who started for us the last 2 years and has really done a great job in the cage. He's a quiet leader. He gets it done by his work ethic, and a lot of people rally behind him, and especially the defense. This year on defense, we're going to have a lot of our offensive middies playing defense, so a lot of two-way middies, and that's going to be a big job for our defense, and certainly Chris Marcosi getting them primed up and teaching them the basics of our defense so that we didn't lose anything there, and then the results will help our transition game. Our opening games against Roanoke, who had a tremendous year last year, and we were fortunate enough to play them, and they took it to us pretty good. They're athletic from top to bottom. They're one of the best teams in the country year in and year out. We open up with them. It's going to be a huge test to us, and it's going to give us a nice mark on where we are as a team right now and how far we've come from last year. The next opponent is St. Mary's, another very, very good team. We're fortunate enough to squeak by them last year. A week later, they turned around and beat Salisbury, who was the #1 team in the country at the time. They return everybody. They're a top 15 team, so they're going to be another tough opponent. And then we roll into our always tough opponent, Washington and Lee, with our third game, and they're another team that's going to be in the top 10 from top to bottom. Those three teams are going to be a huge test to us and our young team and our veterans and find out where we are in the lacrosse world. You know, when I first came here, and you think about Division III lacrosse, you got to talk about the Centennial Conference. There's no question that this league, from top to bottom, is the best league in the country. You got to bring your A game every single day. And we found out last year, and you find out every year, if you don't bring your A game on a Saturday and you're going to play one of the teams in the Centennial Conference, look out, because they're going to bring theirs. And that's the beauty of our conference. It's got incredible coaches. Their staffs do a nice job preparing them in and out for every game. From top to bottom, a tough league. And our guys know that. You have to be prepared, not just for the Gettysburg of our conference or other teams, everybody, else you're going to get nipped. And I think that's a great testament to the Centennial Conference. And I also think our guys appreciate that every game, that they know that it's going to be a fight from start to finish. If you don't play 60 minutes, you're going to lose that game.